All right, hello. My name is Charles Russell. This is Christopher Anello. Is it pronounced Anello?
That is perfect. You
My
got it.
man. So
Excellent.
we're going to be presenting today on the adolescent brain. This is a guide for teachers to understand how the adolescent brain works, and then from that knowledge, how we can apply that to the classroom and teach them better. So I'm going to start by talking about anatomy and structure a little bit. This first slide here breaks down certain structures and functions in the brain. You've got the cerebral cortex, which is the brain's outer layer. It's got 4 lobes. You've got the frontal lobe, that's planning and decision making. The parietal lobe, that's processes sensory information, so touch, temperature, things like that. There's the temporal lobe, which is hearing, language comprehension, or memories. And then the occipital lobe, which is visual processing and interpretation. There's a couple other structures we want to point out too. There's the limbic system. That's responsible for emotions and basic drives, basic survival instincts. So pain, pleasure, stuff like that. There's the hypothalamus. That's a connecting unit between 2 physical control systems. It connects the nervous and the endocrine system. And then there's the pituitary gland. That's responsible for hormone production, which is obviously very active during adolescence. And then a couple more here. We've got the amygdala. That processes emotions. It's a fight or flight response. The hippocampus. That converts short-term memory to long-term. And then the cerebellum, which is movement and balance. So based on these things we know, we can talk a little bit about development and how these parts of the brain affect classroom behaviors. So for example, on this first slide, there's synaptic pruning. Basically, the brain removes unused connections. So this is happening a lot during adolescence. Second is myelination. So that's where nerve fibers get coated to speed up communication. Progresses from the back to front of the brain. And then there's a dopamine and a serotonin shift. So there's a lot more reward seeking, and you're going to see a lot of mood swings on the part of adolescents as well. And then Christopher's going to talk about these next slides here.
Rolling into that, you're going to have your limbic, which is going to be based on heightened activity in the system, which results in strong, impulsive, emotional reactions, like those kids just lashing out, right? There's a reason they're doing that. You have your hypothalamus, which is going to affect sleep cycle, causing challenges in sleep, not even including video games that they're already playing at this time, right? And this is going to increase their sensitivity to peer judgment. They're going to be extremely self-conscious. This will affect them wanting to participate in any lesson, guaranteed. You're going to have your pituitary, which is going to be hormone imbalances common during puberty. These kids are going to be dealing with greater emotional sensitivity. So every time the world is ending, whenever a situation happens. Prefrontal cortex, this obviously it's underdeveloped until late adolescence, and which is going to result into greater risk taking and impulsive or short-term decisions. Teenagers, and pretty much that's the definition of them, is the prefrontal cortex. Now, when you roll into classroom strategies, how do we apply these? Building self-awareness, self-regulation. You're going to have brain drawing activity. Students can draw and discuss the brain parts, right? Make them more aware of it. They put pen to paper. This is connecting the dots for them, literally. Then you have name it to tame it, labeling emotions, activities, the PFC, prefrontal cortex. You're going to have metacognition journals, weekly reflections on learning strategies. I think as a teacher, being open to those reflections from those kids does truly go a long way, and it builds trust with them. Brain development videos, just essentially normalizing, like, yo, dude, you guys are acting wild. Boom, play that video. You can show what's happening. It's just not that they're going crazy. Self-regulation strategies, you have mindfulness, breathing, right? They can take a 2-minute calm, just reset to calm the amygdala. Emotion check-ins, just even if they're walking in, you could be like, hey, what up? How are you? Check in. Or if it's in, say, elementary, they could use, like, say, one of the little, like, symbols that we have in the slide. And, this is how I'm feeling today. They put that on theirs. Now you're aware. Stop, think, act, protocol, pause, consider action. Just gives the kids a chance to just second guess themselves. Zones of regulation, you have blue, which is low, green, which is ready, yellow, which is kind of elevated, and red, which is like intense, right? Kind of think of Inside Out, like those type of movies. That's what it connects to. Teaching methods for developing these kids, you're going to have peer-based learning, right? So adolescents, they're highly social. So incorporate their peers almost as if thought process, if this was like a sport, is iron sharpening iron, right? They want to have group projects. They want to work on things together. utilize their social energy and make it effective for the classroom. Then you have your movement-based activities, get up from one place, go to the next table, kind of just one of those round robin, like constantly roving type lessons that will have them like move, have changing environments, kinetic learning. This is very key for kids with like ADHD, right? Like this type of thing is money. When you have scaffolding, which adolescents struggle with long-term planning due to the fact that their prefrontal cortex isn't fully developed. So they can't think that far, right? So as an effective teacher, you have to have assignments that have things that are going to be step by step. And that is what is going to create an environment where this child and student can succeed. And then they will feel accomplished because they see all the steps that they've done connecting the dots. That is the best way to do it. Here's our resources.
All right. Cool. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time. Hope these strategies are helpful, and have a good rest of your day. Bye.
Yeah.